Let's start with that last thought right there, Mark. Is that the message that's coming out of the media coverage, that this is the world's problem? Is that where we should be in our thinking right now, after the Holocaust, after Kosovo, after Rwanda, that when a genocide has been identified, that it becomes the world's problem?
Definitely. Genocide is a crime against humanity. So this isn't a Jewish issue, it's not an African issue, it's not an American issue. It's an issue that we should all care about.
With your GI network, and you talk about empowering people and communities to stop and prevent genocide, how do you do that? How do you go about doing that?
Sure. So one of the best things is that this has largely been student-led. So what we do is we get on Facebook and MySpace and start telling people that there's a genocide in the 21st century. After we keep on saying never again, from the Holocaust all the way from Kosovo, Bosnia to Rwanda, we say never again, and it's happening again. So we tell people to create stand chapters, so student chapters on their own high schools and their colleges, to raise awareness and take action. And over the past year, we've gotten over 600 chapters across the country where students are raising awareness on campus and off campus.
How do they raise awareness? Certainly for the mainstream press, the biggest hurdle is getting access to the story. The government of Sudan is not letting the press in. The Janjaweed is attacking anyone that is trying to uncover the story. Even going to the refugee camps in Chad, the press is vulnerable to cross-border raids. How do you raise awareness, especially as a student?
Sure. So what we did was we noticed how the media wasn't giving enough coverage to Darfur. So we launched a campaign called Be a Witness campaign, and we took 1 month, June 2005. How did the 5 major TV networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, and Fox, cover the Darfur genocide versus Michael Jackson's trial, Tom Cruise's wedding, and the runaway bride? And we got the statistics, and it turns out that Michael Jackson's trial got 50 times more coverage than when a government is exterminating its own people. And Tom Cruise's engagement and the runaway bride both got 12 times more coverage. So we created an email where we asked students and others to email the networks asking, increase more coverage. This is newsworthy. We should know about the world's worst crime against humanity. And so over 30,000 people emailed the major networks demanding more coverage, and we got more coverage.
Did the networks respond directly to you?
They responded directly to us, either asking for interviews, or we created an ad on beawitness.org where they showed that ad. Other times they would go down and go to students and see what activities they were doing to increase more coverage, because they couldn't get to Darfur in some cases.
So your activism becomes a part of the story itself.
Absolutely.
Very good. Yes, we have a student comment or question. Yes.
Hi, I'm Ben Walsh, and I had a quick question. Even after the Holocaust in Rwanda, why haven't we already taken action in Darfur?
That's a great question. We have taken action. Unfortunately, it's not good enough. What we've done is we've deployed an African Union peacekeeping force, largely of Rwandans and Nigerians, to help protect the people of Darfur, and we've sent in a lot of humanitarian aid. But it's like building a bridge. If you don't get to the other end, who cares with a half-made bridge? So we need to do a lot more with the little that we've done so far.
You know, even during the World War II and the Holocaust, American editors did not believe the truth of the death camps until they saw that evidence. How important is television or just photographic evidence of the devastation in Darfur to getting an international response?
It's critical, and some journalists have actually put their lives on the line to go and get those images. Nicholas Kristof from the New York Times is one of the most famous, and the Washington Post editorial board has been really good at writing about this issue and getting some of their journalists to cover it. So it's critical that we get images out there, and people are doing it. Most recently, Mia Farrow went there, and all her images are public for journalists to use to expose this story.
In the back, we have a comment. Yes?
For people who don't know much about the situation, what are some other good organizations they can join besides your own?
Sure. So one of the best is STAND, Students Taking Action Now Darfur. Another one is Genocide Intervention Network. Third one is the Save Darfur Coalition. And then there's a bunch of others, Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, and the International Crisis Group.
Okay. On this side, yes.
Hey, hi, my name's Allison. I was just wondering why the Sudanese president has been so reluctant to send UN peacekeepers into Sudan?
Well, Allison, the Sudanese president, Omar Bashir, is very similar to Adolf Hitler. He wants to exterminate a group of people in his own country, and he knows that if we deploy UN force, it's going to change his calculation, his ability to exterminate his own people. So that's why he wants no one getting in his way to exterminate the black communities in Darfur.
Once you tap into the student energy, is it also part of your mission for them to get their own adult community, their parents, their church, their teachers aware and involved?
Yeah, that's the beauty, is that students literally have a whole army of people behind them. Every high schooler has his parents or her parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles with them. With adults, we're only able to maybe get 1 or 2 of them out of this. But when you mobilize students, they've got 4 or 5 people behind them, and it really puts the fear of God with members of Congress, knowing when high schoolers are taking action about this.
Okay. Yes?
Hi, my name is Alexis Leon, and besides raising awareness or joining these groups, what can students do to stop the persecution going on?
Great question. We've got two approaches. One is advocacy, and the other one's fundraising. So the advocacy is pressuring our public officials to do more on Darfur, because the United States has signed and ratified the Genocide Convention, and so by calling it a genocide, we have a commitment to stop what's happening there. So we need to pressure politicians, and we've created report cards, because as students, that's what gets us to do a better job in school. So we created report cards on every member of Congress, A through F, on how they're doing on Darfur. So you can go to darfurscores.org and see what grade your member of Congress has gotten, and email them saying, I expect nothing less than an A+ from you. And the second thing is fundraising for the African Union. They really need a lot more support to buy tents and boots and maps. So students across the country are fundraising to support the African Union peacekeepers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, on the front row.
I'm David Conner. I was wondering, is there any way we can tell that this conflict won't escalate into something that we see in the Middle East, like never-ending conflict? Like, even when it seems it's coming to an end, it suddenly re-erupts, and like, it just starts over again?
Sure. Well, David, genocide you can't get much worse than genocide. It's literally where the government is using all its forces to try to exterminate a group of people for being black. These people have nothing to help fend off the attacks from their own government trying to kill them. So 400,000 people dead, 2.5 million displaced. I don't think you could get much worse than it is. So we're at the ultimate low. We can only help the people of Darfur.
Certainly